Well, look who we found here, Holly Whittles, who is very kindly sponsoring our IT and digital category for the awards this year. How important are apprenticeships to your business? I know you've got some star apprentices of your own.
Yes, really, really important to us because we see them as a vital pathway into a career with tech, because the way that they're moving these standards forward, and I know we've been inputting into the curriculum of those, digital is now coming into every single sector, especially with the onset of AI. So it's really important as an employer that we support it, but also that we sort of walk the walk and we actually have apprenticeships in our own business.
The sector specifically has got so many opportunities at the moment. It's got jobs that haven't even been invented yet that we're going to be doing in 5 or 6 years' time, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And some of the things that I'm inputting through the route panels that are writing the apprenticeship standards is we need to be embedding basic digital skills into all of the standards, because we're going to expect students to know these things. But obviously in our business, because we do data analytics and machine learning, I think we need slightly more niche digital skills, but we're open to anything. Once you've got them through the door, having the right attitude, willingness to learn, enthusiasm, that we can teach them the rest of it. So for us, it's the personality and the person.
What about the PR, the image of the apprenticeship route? Do you think that's right in terms of potential candidates? Does it still have a stigma from what apprenticeships used to be like many years ago, do you think?
Yeah, there's often been a legacy of this. University was the gold star route and apprenticeships was seen as another route. It wasn't pushed as much, whereas I know there's been a lot of work certainly through the career hubs and the Gatsby Foundation, trying to really sort of bring all pathways open to students, because we can't expect them all to fit into the same sort of hole. So every person's different and a different pathway is going to work for them. So it might be a T-level route, it could be an apprenticeship route. University might be the right route. They might even want to just start work. But I very much champion the apprenticeship approach because I like that way of working with the employer and the provider to get it right and get the right person.
So what will you be looking for in the perfect star apprentice to deserve to be shortlisted here then?
Well, we need another Annabelle really, but I think, as I said before, it's that mindset and that willingness to learn, and I think someone that's willing to sort of go above and beyond, and if they want to shine, we will open the doors to allow them to do that. So we're after that really enthusiastic, willing person.
The progression through a business of former apprentices is such an important part, isn't it? Because then it shows people that you don't just come on ground level and stay at ground level. You could work your way through to director level and run the company one day.
Yeah, exactly. So we had someone do a level 3 apprenticeship with us. She'd been promoted within a year. She'd passed her apprenticeship. We promoted her. She's now a manager of the function that she's running in our business for us. So, great pathway for her. But one thing I always say to people as well is apprenticeships can also be used to upskill existing staff, and that's something that I did myself. As
I was going to say that you've walked the walk and talked the talk, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. I thought, what can I do in lockdown? Oh, I know, I'll do an apprenticeship. So for me, that was getting an industry qualification of, I had loads of experience, but actually in that particular area, I didn't have the certificate. And I thought, well, actually, it might be worth going back and revisiting some of that theory and practices. And, I found it a really good approach, and it's something that I encourage other people to do.
How did the experience compare to maybe what you expected it would be before you started it?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I wasn't quite sure what to expect, and I think it was a tricky time as well, because all of a sudden providers and colleges were having to teach online, so we were kind of the first cohort to embrace being taught over Teams. But actually for me that really worked, that hybrid approach, because it meant that I could stay in the office and I could get some work done I didn't have that commute time, and then I could think about it afterwards and do some study. So I think again it's embracing different modes of delivery for apprenticeships as well, and hybrid is definitely a really powerful one.
You're in a sector where it's been a little bit easier to do that, and filled with people whose mindset is maybe more amenable to it as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so actually. I mean, if you're in construction, that's a little bit more tricky, isn't it? So I saw a great meme the other day actually of it was a big building and it was covered in scaffolding, and there was a poster on the side of it that said, "Hey ChatGPT, finish this building." I thought we're always going to need people.
That's the thing, isn't it? Tech is still going to be controlled by the people, and it shouldn't be controlling the people. That's the big difference, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. When we're talking about AI and everyone's sort of finally jumped on the bandwagon, it's not going to take our jobs away. Our jobs are just going to be different. So what we're trying to do with apprenticeships is get that level basic digital skills, which means that they can then run with it and embed it into their organisations.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of entries we get for this category and getting stuck into finding some great candidates to shortlist. Thank you so much for coming on board with us, and good to catch up as ever.
And you, Carl, thank you so much.
Thank you. So we've come to visit our dear friends from the NHS here, and Alison is specifically to do with the integrated care system. What is the integrated care system?
So if you think of Shropshire, its geographical footprint in Shropshire, so every single business or provider that delivers care to its patients or clients who's registered with what we call the CQC, Care Quality Commission, they're all our partners in the system. And as an integrated care system, we're trying to work together as partners to make things better for the patients and clients we look after, the workforce we're trying to attract and recruit and keep. So we're trying to do that better together rather than each individual organisation working separately. And so the benefits are huge. And within our integrated care system, we also have 2 colleges and 2 universities, so we're very much working with those education providers as well to do some creative stuff together to make it better for our young people to come into the profession, or people who might want to change their careers further along in their lives.
I guess it's quite a good way of emphasising the fact that there are so many different kinds of careers you can do within the NHS, isn't it?
Absolutely. And my particular role, whilst I have my NHS banner on today, my particular role kind of hovers across all of those organisations. So social care and independent care providers are a big part of trying to work together for the benefit of people who live in Shropshire and the care they give. But the NHS in particular, there's around 350 different types of jobs. Most people probably recognise the obvious: nurses, paramedics, doctors, dentists, that kind of, midwives. But there are some jobs that are lesser known. And something like today is a way of making young people aware of what lesser known roles there are to be able to think about for their own futures.
And how has it all been received? Are there in particular areas that have been more popular than others, or...?
I think generally, the whole of the stands here that are representing health and care have been, there's been real interest in all of them. Particularly, I would say some of those lesser known stands we have here today, such as the therapeutic radiographers who deal with radiotherapy, our pharmacists. They are well known as a profession, but we have huge gaps in Shropshire with pharmacists. So it's been really well received and lovely to see young people, and not just young people, but people of all ages coming to think about what might be right for them as a career change, maybe.
Is Shropshire fairly typical? I mean, we hear nationally that there's huge skills gaps and skills shortages in the NHS. Is it similar here?
Very much similar here, I have to say. And we're also additionally challenged, being a very large rural county. So some young people like the bright lights of cities. So it's a little bit more harder for a rural geographical area to attract and keep people who might live in Shropshire. So we're very much trying to, and are indeed, building up training locally, so people don't have to travel if they can't or don't want to. They can have everything they need here in Shropshire. That's where we're trying to get to with our further education colleges and our universities.
I'm guessing no 2 weeks are the same in your job then?
No 2 weeks they are definitely not the same, but the value and the beauty of my role is is connecting people of those individual providers we talked about earlier to come together, to work together. So if I give you an example, our pharmacists, both in our hospitals and out in the community, have all come together as a group. And as a result of engaging and talking and discussions, we now are offering a pharmacy technician training programme through one of our Telford College, through one of our colleges locally. So people who want to be a pharmacy technician don't have to now travel. They can access it locally. So those are the sort of things we're looking at, really.
Is there still a perception that for some of these kind of areas, people think they still do have to travel further to get them?
Absolutely. There is that perception, and it's very much about making people, particularly of school-age people and our careers teachers, aware of the offer, what can be accessed locally. So we have a website, a system website, and this year we were building on that system website to make those offers and those career pathways more accessible and more known, make people more aware. So parents of young children or adults can see what's on offer and actually, I didn't realise that college delivered that. Actually, that's something I'm curious about. So we're going to be doing that this year, starting from next month, actually.
Excellent. Lots to do then, by the sound of it. Great to catch up with you as always. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.